Hi, art friends. This week we're going to be learning about optical illusions. You've probably seen optical illusions before. Optical illusions can use color, light, and patterns to create images that can be deceptive or misleading to our brains. In other words, they trick our eyes and give our brains a mixed message of what is happening in the picture. Optical illusions simply trick our brains into seeing things which may or may not be real. I found some really neat optical illusions for you to look at. This first one is interesting. When you look at the picture, what do you see? Do you see a rabbit or do you see a duck? Can you see both? Look at this one. Do you see a vase or do you see two people's faces? Can you see both? What do you see here? Do you see a woman's face or a man playing the saxophone? In this optical illusion, the sphere looks like it's floating, doesn't it? See these dots? Look closely. They actually spell out words. The words are created by making certain dots smaller than others. Which of the blue dots is bigger? Can you tell? They're actually both the same size. My favorite kind of optical illusions are the ones that look like they're moving. I promise you, this one is not moving. It looks just like it is. If you see movement, the optical illusion is working. These circles aren't moving either, I promise. And these spirals, guess what? Not moving. Okay, this one actually is moving. If you stare at the plus sign in the center, the dots turn green. They're all pink dots. Isn't that weird? This one looks familiar. I want you to stare at the plus sign for 10 seconds and see what happens to the pink dots. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did you see it? Did all the dots disappear? Here's another one. Okay, it's an elephant. Can you count how many legs it has? How about this one? Can you count the black dots? When you focus on them, they change to white. How? Optical illusion. The patterns in this optical illusion trick your brain into thinking that the circle is floating. In this optical illusion, the vertical lines in both images are actually the same height. The lines in this optical illusion are actually parallel. Why do they look like they aren't? Optical illusion. That was fun. Let's get to our project. We're going to be creating a very simple version of an optical illusion using straight lines and a color pattern. For this project, you will need a white paper. If you don't have paper, you can use cardboard or maybe the inside of a cereal box. Be creative. You will also need a pencil and something to color with, like crayons, colored pencils, or markers. I'm going to use crayons and markers. The last thing you need is something to help you draw a straight line. You could use a ruler, a piece of cardboard, another paper. Again, be creative. I'm using a giant craft stick because I couldn't find my ruler. So what you're going to do first is to draw a big block or bubble letter. What I like to do is to draw very lightly first a letter and then draw a block or bubble around the letter itself. Then I like to erase the inside line. Maybe you want to draw your first initial. You could even draw your whole name if you want, but it might be a little bit more complicated. I outlined my letter with a Sharpie when I was done so that I didn't get confused. If you have a Sharpie, do that. If not, no big deal. Next, I'm going to make one dot somewhere on my paper. It doesn't have to be directly in the middle. Now I'm going to use my straight edge to make straight lines coming from the dot out to the edge of the paper. I'm going to make the lines radiate out like a sun. You need to make an even number of lines for the pattern to work. Remember, an even number. I made 10 lines, but you may want 8 or maybe 12, as long as it is an even number. Now you want to actually decide on what colors you want to use. You'll be using 2 colors. Optical illusions tend to use a lot of black, so you can pick black as one of your colors. I'm going to use purple and red. Decide on what media or material you would like to use as well. I think I'm going to use a mix of crayons and markers. So I'll start with my purple marker. I'm going to only color the shapes inside my letter first. When I color with marker, I like to outline the shape first and then use the slanted side of the marker to color inside of the shape. I don't scribble. I like to make straight lines right next to each other. Also, go slow so the marker juice has time to come out of the marker. I'm going to color every other shape in. So color one, skip one. Color one, skip one. Just stay inside the letter for now. I like to rotate my paper too so that I don't place my hand in wet marker. Also, it's easier to make a straight line if you pull your hand down towards your body instead of going away from your body. When you're finished, you can take your next color and color the remaining spaces inside your letter. I wanted to try something different and use a red crayon. Remember to color slowly and cover up all of those white spaces. Don't press too hard with your crayon. I like to start light and then overlap until the color is nice and smooth. You could use all marker inside your letter or all crayon. You could do the whole project with marker, or maybe you want to use marker on the background and crayon on the letter. It's up to you. Work with the art materials you have to plan it out before you start. Just remember, you're only going to use 2 colors. Now that my letter is all colored, I'm ready for the background. I'm going to switch it up and use a purple crayon and a red marker for the background, but remember, you don't have to do the same thing as me. When I color the background, I'm going to use opposite colors. So next to the red crayon, I'll color purple crayon, and next to the purple marker, I'll use a red marker. Watch. So now that my project is getting to be almost finished, you can see that my use of line, color, and pattern have created a letter that looks like it's kind of popping out from the background. I might try this project again and use a color in black and do it all in marker and see what that looks like. Here's a version of this project that was created digitally. It's a much brighter example. Well, friends, I think that's it. I can't wait to see what you come up with. I hope that you liked learning a little bit about optical illusions and creating your own starburst letter. Remember to upload your image to Artsonia to make it easy for Miss B to keep up with all these beautiful artworks that are coming in. I'm always here for you if you need my help. I miss you, and I hope you enjoy making art with me while we're apart. Bye!